Hello and welcome to the Daily Millwall for Thursday, the 13th of February 2025. In today's Mill news, we have the takeaways, the talking points from londonnewsonline.co.uk, the South London Press, from Mill's 5-1 defeat at Plymouth. So, let's check it out. Mill fell to a disappointing 5-1 defeat. Disappointing. Underselling it there. 5-1 defeat at Plymouth Argyle on Wednesday night. The Lions headed to Home Park off the back of 4 straight championship wins, but found themselves 4-0 down before Joe Bryan grabbed a late consolation. Argyle then grabbed the 5th to compound a rotten night for Alex Neil's side. Here are Danny Marsh's talking points from the match. A reality check. It's been a positive few weeks for Millwall, but this one will sting. As good as the Lions have been across the unbeaten run they had put together before travelling west, this was a new low point in terms of performances this season. Nobody covered themselves in glory and things quickly unravelled. Mill could hardly have had a worse start, with Joe Bryan putting through his own net, and then Casper Dinor gave away a penalty, which was gleefully dispatched by Ryan Hardy, all after just 10 minutes. That set the tone for the evening. Unfortunately, things only got worse. The only positive of the night is the fact that Mill will have the chance to make amends quickly at home to West Brom on Saturday. It says tomorrow, but I believe this is written to be published in tomorrow's edition of the South London Press that you can buy at your local newsagent if you're in London, South London. A case for the defence. Mill don't score many, but they've got one of the meanest, well, we did have one of the meanest defences around. In fact, only the Championship's top 3 had a better defensive record than Millwall before the floodgates opened down in Devon. All of the goals the Lions gave up were incredibly poor, most down to individual errors, but that's scant consolation for the 502 fans who travelled down. The season so far tells us this was likely a one-off, and the vast majority of the team have credit in the bank, especially Mill's defenders. But this was a hard one to swallow after watching the defence and Liam Roberts keep Leeds at bay so well just days beforehand. Neil's dilemma. Mill's influx of January arrivals coupled with a strong showing from other individuals against Leeds at the weekend made Wednesday night's lineup particularly hard to predict. Alex Neil took the blame for the result post-match, saying he got it wrong. Whether you agree with that or not, and it certainly felt as though he was being more than a bit generous to his players, the Scot now needs time to figure out his best team. Neil had gone from having his hand tied in terms of options to having plenty of attacking players all vying for 4 spots. Who are the best suited for those spots? Who works together well? Those questions won't be answered overnight. We've seen flashes of what this team could be capable of under Neil in recent weeks, and excitement was at an all-time high after a positive January window and a top win over Leeds in the FA Cup. But this match was a timely, albeit brutal, reminder that patience will be needed as Neil now starts to suss out his best Millwall team. Indeed, and that's the thing as well. It's not necessarily that you put the best players in and that's your best team. It's about the players that work well together, and that might not be that the best players on paper are those players. It might not be the case. So yeah, that might be a thing as well. Play it out. Mill have flirted with the playoffs in recent years, but talk of another top 6 tilt feels a bit premature in the aftermath of Wednesday night's mauling, but maybe that's not the end of the world. After all, it was only a few weeks ago that us fans were nervously looking over our shoulders. The winds of change have blown through Claremont Road in recent weeks, and as outlined above, it may not be a while before we see the fruition of that. Nobody's going to rule Mill out of the playoff race outright. Where's the fun in that? But if we're being realistic, a season of consolidation and getting to grips with the workings of a new head coach ahead of the 25-26 campaign seems more likely. And after the stress of last year's fight for survival and that final day against Blackburn the year before, maybe that isn't such a bad thing. Yeah, well, it was always a long shot. But it's not that long of a long shot because this league is a balmy league and we're still only 7 points off, and it's about the teams that can string wins together however you get them. You need to get your wins, whether you sneak a 1-0 or you batter teams 4-0. If you can put 2 or 3 wins together, you're going up the table because other teams ain't doing that. That's not how it works in this league. So there you go. Now we've got one more post-match from the manager. Millwall boss says problems in 5-1 loss to Plymouth are quite easy to fix. And this is from southernnews.co.uk. Alex Neil said what went wrong for Millwall in their 5-1 loss to Plymouth Argyle last night will be quite easy to fix. The Lions headed to Home Park full of confidence after a 4-game winning streak, but were quickly brought low by the resurgent Pilgrims, who got out to a 2-goal lead in the first 10 minutes before scoring another 2 shortly after half-time to put the game to bed. Neil wanted his side to dominate the ball, which they did successfully by having 64.3% of the ball, but they could not convert their possession to clear-cut chances. Only 2 of their shots had an XG of higher than 0.1, while Plymouth had 6 efforts that cleared that bar. The Scotsman is looking for his side to bounce back against West Brom on the weekend. Or nobody likes ever to lose in that manner. I think what we can do is we can quite straightforward. It's identify what went wrong tonight. So it's not like it's hard to fix. It's really quite easy to fix for us. Certainly from my perspective, I'm sure the players will feel the same. So we've had a really disappointing and poor night, and we need to just brush it aside, and we need to move on and get on with the next one. Indeed. I will say as well, that this game should have been played on Tuesday. Why did we move it? Oh, because Plymouth played against Liverpool on Sunday. So fucking what? Tough shit. Play it on Tuesday. Do it. We're nice to them. They ask if they can move it. We acquiesce. And this is what they do. They beat us 5-1. That's not very nice, is it? We should have just left it on Tuesday and said no way. Deal with it. Tough shit. Now, here we go. In yesterday's video, I briefly mentioned in an innocuous comment about how weird it looked that the floodlights were. They looked very weird. Having been to many football stadia pusses, in my 43 years on this earth, I'm looking at the lights and they don't look right. And then the ball gets kicked up in the air 40 feet and then goes from being lit up like a Christmas tree to being as black as a shark's eyes, which I've never seen before in a professional football ground in my entire life. But because I said that, that's apparently me blaming all the bloody Janners in the comments. All the bloody Janners came in the comments in yesterday's video saying, "Oh, you're blaming the bloody lights, you were rubbish." Yeah, we were rubbish. We scored an own goal to get you off to a good start. We gave away a penalty, and we had 2 other unenforced errors that contributed to your goals. So, we self-imploded. But don't change the fact that your lights don't look right. And now we know why. I said that the lights on one stand were seemingly pointing directly down in front of the stand that they were on. Didn't sit because they should be pointing over to the other side. And now we know, in a story from PlymouthHerald.co.uk, Plymouth Live, dated the 3rd of December 2018, so this is 7 years ago, when I believe they were probably in League 2 then, yeah? The fans on the other side of the ground were complaining about the lights being too bright in their eyes because of the angle of them being pointed over to the other side. So it looks like they changed the lights. So yeah, expensive renovation floodlighting system at Home Park. The refurbishment comes after supporters in the Devon end complained about the glare from a new bank of floodlights on top of the Barn Park end. They were to replace what was always meant to be a temporary pylon that was put in probably 10 to 15 years ago. What we have found is that although they provide just about sufficient illumination to get them to throw enough light across the entirety of the pitch, it was causing undue glare for supporters in the Devonport end and the Spion Cop of the Lyndhurst. So we've had the entire system looked at, and we have commissioned the purchase of a whole new bank of lamp holders which will meet the current standards. That means they will be brighter and allow us to stop that glare completely. At the same time, we decided to look at all of the floodlighting across the stadium, and all of those lamps are going to be taken down and refurbished. So there you go. This is what they did. The fans on the other side of the stadium were complaining, so they pointed it down. Which is what I said, I've been going to football grounds. It didn't look right. When the ball goes up in the air and it goes completely black, that's the kind of shit that you get on a council estate pitch in Peckham. And trust me, I know that because I'm from Peckham. And I can take you to one now where you go, where the ball's bright as a light and then it goes into darkness. This is not good enough for Division 2 of English football. This needs to be looked at. And if you don't fix your light, get proper lights or go back to League 2. You're in the second tier of English football now. This is the real deal. Fix your lights. No wonder Liverpool fucking lost. What a fucking joke. Now, conceding 5 goals. And you're wondering, when's the last time we conceded 5 goals? Can you remember? Have a little think. Do you remember? You might have forgotten about it because you might have already been on the beach. That's a little clue there. It was the last game of the season. Not that long ago. It was this game. Coventry 6, Millwall 1, last day of the season. That was the game that... This is the kit that we were wearing, that red and white one. And Gary Rowett decided to play Marlon Romeo at centre-back. Remember him? And we lost 6-1. So that was the last time we conceded 5 goals. Conceded quite a few 4s between now and then. And that was 2021. So coming up to 4 years. Doesn't time fly, huh? So yeah. Crazy. Bang. Man, insane. And obviously this was a sign of things to come in terms of end of season games with under Gary Rowett. Now, moving on to this. So obviously I pulled this up and I've seen on the right hand side, as you can see, the hyperlink's gone green. We have, this is from bbc.co.uk. So the FA Cup is to use semi-automated offsides for the first time. I'm sure that's going to go perfectly well first time they use it. So semi-automated offside technology has never been used in competitive English football. What could go wrong? Well, I think Do you get the nightmare sweats that, it might be our game away at Crystal Palace where this goes wrong? Or is that just me? Semi-automated offside technology will be used in English domestic football for the first time during the 5th round of the FA Cup. That's kind of weird. Why would you bring it in halfway through a competition? Well, it's the FA, so, they're fucking idiots. On Thursday, the Football Association announced that the technology will be used in the 7 games taking place at Premier League stadiums. Again, this is another reason why the FA Cup has turned into, just a joke. That it's not even all the games. It's just they have this thing now. So you've got all the games in the FA Cup, but they use VAR, but only in the Premier League games that are being held at Premier League stadiums, where they have the VAR technology set up. So you have 2 games in the same competition in the same season. One is subject to VAR and one isn't. You might as well have, this game, we're going to have offsides in this game, but we're not going to have offsides in that game. Or we're going to have throw-ins in this game, but we're going to have kick-ins in this game. Like, what the fuck is that shit? It's one competition. Have one rule to rule them all. How hard can it be? That is the point of a competition. That the rules for this competition are the rules for this competition. And they're the same for all the teams. What the fuck is this? So yeah. The FA added that following successful live operation in the Emirates FA Cup, the Premier League will look to implement the system later this season. So the Premier League basically fund the FA now, because that's the only place they get their money. They're telling them, we want to use the FA Cup as a testing ground, because we're looking to do this in the Premier League next season. So we want to try it out in the FA Cup first. Is that okay with you? The competition that we give money to, is that okay with you? The system aims to remove some elements of human subjectivity by replacing decisions made by officials with automated ones taken by technology. For the love of God, I hope they don't use AI. I don't know about you, it's getting on my tits now. You go on Twitter and you go to the comments. I asked AI about this, and this is what AI said. And I think it's just bots doing that. I think they've set up bots to automatically go to a post and then take that post, copy and paste it into an AI, and then copy and paste the reply back into the thread. Because there's surely no reason. But I've been seeing things about like some 20-year-olds. Me and my girlfriend had an argument, and I spoke to the AI, and I told him everything that happened, and the AI was on my side. As I'm looking at this, like, are these people fucking insane? What are they doing? It's like the AI is the oracle in ancient Greece. The AI, I'm going to ask the AI. I'm going to ask the AI what I should have for breakfast tomorrow. Like, what are you doing? Are you fucking retarded? What are you doing? So, what am I doing? Shall I carry on reading this? Sorry, got a bit sidetracked there. As things stand, when a player scores after a borderline offside situation, so you know when they have like their big toes offside, just their big toe, officials in the video assistant referee VAR room must decide on three key things when the ball was kicked: where and what angle the defender's body was when the ball was kicked, and where and what angle the attacker's body was. All three of those decisions will now be automatically taken by technology. Oh no. Artificial intelligence manages the process, monitoring ball and player movement before coming up with a decision as to whether the player was onside or offside. Bespoke cameras that will monitor a variety of key elements involved in any tight offside decision have been installed beneath the roof at all 20 Premier League stadiums, including the dump that is Selhurst Park. Premier League clubs unanimously approved its use for the 24-25 season in April, with a planned introduction date of October 2024, though that was delayed to allow for further testing of the technology. Well, that's fantastic. So they were supposed to bring it in, but they've delayed it. So there's clearly a problem with it, but they're going to put it in the next round of the FA Cup. Fantastic. UEFA, remember them? Introduced semi-automated offside technology in the Champions League at the start of the 22-23 campaign, and we know there have never been a problem with the offsides in the Champions League since then, have there? The FA said, all semi-automated offside technology will provide more efficient placement of the virtual offside line based on optical player tracking, and produce virtual graphics to ensure an enhanced in-stadium and broadcast experience for supporters. The operation of semi-automated offside technology does not change the accuracy of the decision-making, but enhances the speed and the efficiency of the process. Video assistant referees will also be active across all 8 FA Cup fifth round ties, including the match championship side Preston, with referees making in-stadium VAR announcements. If they saw us off with VAR, I can imagine the Millwall fans not being quite happy about that. Not happy about that at all. Have we ever had a VAR induced riot yet in football? Because we might be getting one. We might be getting one in the next round. That's SOS bug. It could be up there with like Luton '85, the VAR riots of 2025. Tickets. So, Derby County away, very cheap tickets, £20. Fair play to Derby County. They gave us an initial allocation. Those were sold out. They've given us 233 more tickets. So if you tried to get tickets and you missed out, there were 234 more on sale. They may have gone by the time this goes out, but you might get lucky. If you're trying to get some tickets, have another go. Have another guess. And you might get lucky. 20 quid. Very cheap. Very, very cheap. £20 tickets. Very, very cheap. Now, this game. Another week. Another game moved for Sky Sports Television. Can you guess when it get moved to? Yes, that's right. Saturday at 12:30. All of the games have been moved to Saturday 12:30. At the start of the season, they told us, the games are going to be on Friday nights, on Saturday 12:30, Saturday 5:30, sometimes Saturday 8 p.m, Sunday 12 o'clock, Sunday 3 o'clock, Sunday 5 o'clock, maybe Sunday 8 o'clock and Monday nights as well. And literally every single championship game, they do Friday nights and they do Saturday at 12:30, and they do multiple championship games Saturday at 12:30 at the same time. This is from millfc.co.uk, the club's official website. Mill versus Stoke City selected for Sky Sports coverage. Mill Sky Bet Championship fixture at home to Stoke City has been selected for live coverage on Sky Sports Football. Okay. So that sounds like it's for Sky Sports Football, not just Sky Sports Plus, which is important. It's a distinction because Sky Sports Plus is a streaming service. Sky Sports Football is a linear Sky channel, which means it goes through the satellite dish. So if you don't have your Wi-Fi set up to get your Sky, you probably can't get Sky Sports Plus. So you're relying on the linear channels. So there you go. It's been moved. The match is Saturday 15th of March. It's been moved forward to 12:30 p.m. Now, what are we doing? Oh yeah. So these are the selections that got made, and interesting. So all of these games were moved for this week of the 15th of March, there or thereabouts. And you see, there's a Thursday game for Bromley. Bromley have been on television so much. I mean, it's insane how much they've been on TV. You can see all of the games on Saturday at 12:30. And only 3 of these games here on the screen are from the Championship. The rest are from Leagues 1 and Leagues 2, which is weird. But look at all these games. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games. Saturday 12:30 kickoff. No games on Sunday. No games on Monday. No games on Saturday evening. Yeah, they told us this is when the games are going to be, and it turns out they were all on Saturday 12:30. Complete horseshit that they fed us, and we fell for it. Hook, line, and sinker. This is from EFL.com. This is so from now until the end of the season, if you didn't know, future broadcast selections will be now be made on a weekly basis for the rest of the season. And this is part of the reason why they're saying, so we're going to get one of these every week, although we might not get one next week. Well, we will get one, but not for the Championship, because the Championship is going to be off on the 22nd of March. It's an international round of games. If we go here. So this is the fixture page from millfc.co.uk. So you can see the games that we've got coming up. The Crystal Palace game will not be at Saturday, the 1st of March at 3 p.m. All of these games will be moved for television. That is 100% certain. So we just wait to see. I think there's some comments that, because if you go on, there's forums on the internet, like Digital Spy, places like that, where they speculate and they try and guess, so they can show off about how clever they are, about when the games are going to be. And there's some speculation that because there's a round of European games in the midweek after Saturday, the 1st of March, that the Premier League teams that are in Europe need to either play on Friday or Saturday. So they can't play on Sunday or the Monday. So it looks like our game may very well be on the Sunday. That's what people are saying. So we don't know yet. We're still waiting to find out. But there you go. Now, so as we go down, these games are all been set, and they've already been moved. This game's a 12:30 kickoff. This game's a 12:30 kickoff. They've already been. This game's 12:30 kickoff. So all of these games have been moved. And as you can see, between this game and this game, there's a week missing. That's the 22nd of March. That is an international round of fixtures. I am almost certain to guarantee that our game away at Sunderland will be moved for television as well. Sunderland have been on television a lot. Obviously, they're one of those 4 teams that are up and above at the top of the table, quite the better teams in the league. Almost certain that game will be moved, especially when you consider the Alex Neil angle that he was a manager of Sunderland before as well. Almost certain that game will be moved. But we wait. Now, they only have to give us 4 weeks' notice. So next week, we're going to find out about the League 1 and League 2 games that are going to be on the 22nd of March. So we have to wait until the 20th of February. So the 27th of February, there or thereabouts, we're going to find out about this Sunderland game. So in terms of obviously making your travel arrangements, obviously you can't buy tickets yet. They won't be on sale a month in advance, especially, well, home ones might be, but away ones certainly not. It would be nice if the club can put a little thing here, and we know that they can, because if we go down and see, because we don't have the Bristol City game had to be moved because we made it to the FA Cup 5th round away at Crystal Palace. You can see here they put underneath a little black banner that says fixture clash. So if they could put a banner on every game from this one down that says in the black banner underneath, subject to TV selection, and then as the week goes by and it either does or doesn't get selected for television, they remove that banner so that fans can know, okay, this game, especially if you're coming from abroad. Can you imagine if you come from abroad and then the game, like, you book your flight to get in at 12 o'clock or like 11:30 at Heathrow, and then they move the game to 12:30 and you've got an hour to get to the ground. I mean, come on, man. What are we even doing out here, man? So yeah, it would be nice if the club could do something like that, as they've done there where it says fixture clash. That's it for the news for today. Obviously, because it's a day after a game, we are going to have a look at some stats, because what the hell was that about? Can we find out? I don't know. But if you're not sticking around, thank you for watching. If you are sticking around, here we go. Boom. No surprise to see that the top performers, all 5 of them, are Plymouth players. Not surprising as well to see that the most tackles were from Plymouth. They were very aggressive. They were very battling. Which is unusual. No, we're usually the team that does that. So Millwall were effective at creating goal scoring opportunities for individual skill, and we were effective at creating goal scoring opportunities from set pieces. We had to rely on a lot of set pieces. We kind of defaulted to, when we used to only score from set pieces, we kind of defaulted to that at one point. So that's the only place that our chances were coming from. We gave away a lot of free kicks around the box, and we committed a high number of individual errors. Yeah, no shit. We played with width. I mentioned in yesterday's video about how Crammer and Connolly were on the touchline, and it was kind of like, oh, get it out to them over there. Very weird, and that so much so that Tanganga came across as a kind of makeshift right back, and then Denor would slot in as a centre back. Very weird, very, very weird. We had a large quantity of possession in our opponent's half. We favoured long shots. We attacked down the right side, and we dominated possession. But again, this is another game where we dominate. We have the most possession, and we don't win the game. That's not what we do. That's not how we play. That's not what we like. Obviously, you're trying to change it, bruv. You can change it as much. You can change it as much as you want. All right, it's not how we play. Wow. This is man. I told you, was it the game before and the game before that, about our conversion rate was very high for being in the championship game. 35% conversion rate for Plymouth. That is insane. That's really, it's really bad for us, really good for them. You can see here, total attempts on goal, 14 to 13, 8 to 6 open play, 4 to 7 set piece, 0 to 0 counter attack. They had a penalty and they had an own goal. We had a conversion rate of 7%, which is, again, back to the bad times. That's how it was, around about 8 to 10%. 1 goal from 13 attempts on goal. You can see here, attack sides. We were mostly going down the right hand side, 49%. Shot directions, shot zones. None of that was in the 6-yard box. Half was inside the area and half was outside, basically. Action zones. Yeah, that's interesting. Player positions. Yeah. So if you look at Plymouth, you can see they've got basically a front 5. 3 in the middle and two out wide, sort of. The 3, the 11, the 15, the 20, and the 9. And they're basically, waiting to grab onto the Millwall players. And I think that may have been the reason why Connolly and Crammer were out on the lines. Maybe that was a thing that Neil was trying to stop. Maybe he knew that they kind of tried to, in previous games, they tried to crowd out the middle. And then Neil was trying to split them off from the middle by giving them something on the edges to worry about. That might have been the reasoning behind that, but I mean, man. So what have we got here? We've got what? Negley's 56, Connolly's 9. Now the thing with that is, obviously in the second half, Connolly stopped doing that touchline thing, and he came further in. He was basically playing a part of a front 2 once Aziz came on. Yeah, I mean, and we did play with a high line. So it's very interesting that they played like Plymouth played. It didn't look like they played that high, because I don't think if they did, that we would have played such a high line. But at times, we would, like Tanganga and Cooper were on the halfway line, especially after it was 2-0. I was Plymouth were like, oh, what do we do? Do we carry on going? Like, what do we do? Do we defend a bit? Like, what are we doing? And they kind of did sit back a bit. But then second half, I think the manager said, look, keep going. So we wait to see. So, let's get on to this from whoscored.com, the match centre. Match events. Obviously 6 minutes. Home goal. 10th minute penalty. They got a yellow card, and then in the second half, 2 goals in 3 minutes, Bundy and Hardy, and then the changes come. I don't know about you, but if you're losing 2-0 at half time, surely you make the changes then. And Femi Aziz, man of the match for Millwall, even though he was on the pitch for about 30 minutes, like just head and shoulders above everyone else. Yeah. And they just started making changes, I think. Just random changes that they were making. They knew the game was won 4-0. So, I mean, we score with 10 minutes to go. But, I think that was basically through the new players coming on, trying to stake a claim. Obviously, Femi Aziz, I think a lot of people questioning why he didn't start. I think he didn't start because he's just come back from injury. You've got to manage his minutes. And then you say, well, why don't you start him and take him off? Well, when you got, I guess when you got a quick player like that, you want him to come on as the impact sub. But that didn't really work out, did it? Well, it did, because he came on and he did have an impact. It's just that by the time he came on, you're losing 4-0. So the impact he had was to help score 1 goal. Whereas if you brought him on at half time, then maybe he couldn't have done 45 minutes. See, we don't know. He could have done 45 minutes, but they have these stress tests and thing, and they're like, oh, maybe what's the safest thing to do? I'll give him 30 minutes. Yeah, that might be the situation, though. But yeah, if you would have brought him on at half time, or at the start of the second half, when we're losing 2-0 and he creates a goal and then it's 2-1, then it's game on. Lovely jubbly, let's have a go. To wait to see. So let's go down. If you look at the club badges, top left, top right, average player rating for Plymouth 7.12, for Millwall 6.14. That's a whole 1 point difference, which is insane. Haven't seen that for a while, but that is clear that there was a clear distinction there. And we see a number of players get absolutely tanked in the scoring. Jensen gets a 4.8. He gets an error on him. He is error that led to goal, and that's on the last goal. So that was the one where he put his hand on the ball, which is playground stuff. That doesn't mean anything. The player can still kick the ball. If you don't know that, what are you doing? Punch the ball away. Punch it away. Or grab it with both arms. Grab it with your hand and move it to your chest. Because if you're holding it to your chest, that counts as you having control of it. Pardon me. You putting your hand on the ball while it's on the ground, that's not controlling anything. And then we've got Saville, again with his back pass that Cooper just struggled to deal with. He got an unenforced error that led to go on that. Kundal, 5.9, again, yeah. Like I said, apart from scoring within, 10 minutes of his debut, he ain't done much. He ain't done much at all. And you see Denor with 5.6, he gave away the penalty. But you can see they were completely crowded in midfield. Because, if Bangor Williams was in there, Bangor Williams got a bit of fight in him. He's got a bit of a get up and go in him. So if Bangor Williams was on instead of Kundal, would it have been different? Maybe. But we don't know. But ironic that Joe Bryan's got a rating of 7.0, and apparently he's it was all down to him. Apparently, it's according to a lot of Mill fans. It was really bad. Obviously, he got out jumped for that 1 goal that they scored. The error, the own goal, the ball came to him and hit him, and it was just bad luck that it went where it went. Not much he could do about that. But he did score a goal. So him, off the starting 11, him and Ivanovic are 7.0. Outranked everyone else. But Aziz, 30 minutes on the pitch, 7.3. So there you go. Total shots, 13-13 apparently. Oh yeah. So attempts on goal was 14-13. Total shots is 13-13. Because one of their attempts on goal was an own goal. So there you go. Yeah, 3 from Ivanovic. And a few other players had 1 each, but a lot of them were powder puff, you know. They were like long shots that weren't really hard or just touches towards goal that didn't have any power to them really. Aziz had 2 when he came off the bench. Again, possession 35-64. But look at it. Cooper 10.6. Tanganga 8.1. Saville 6.7. Brian 8.1. Whenever we have possession, most possession in the game, we generally lose the game. Pass success percentage 59-76. Obviously, some of them very egregious. You know, Saville's one that led to their goal. Dribbles 3-13. Aerials 129-29. Tackles 24-13. So again, as soon as that ball, you can see, look, Houghton and Randall and Sorinolo, 6, 5 and 5 tackles. As soon as we got the ball over the halfway line, these players, they were jumping on the Millwall players. And the Millwall players couldn't do anything about it. Corners 2-6. These are the players that won the corners. Dispossessed 8-16. Yep, got dispossessed of the ball. Conley 6 times. As a lot. Seems like a lot. As is 3 times. Move on to this. So, they had 13 shots. How many were on target? 7. 7. So they scored 5 goals from 7 on target, and one of those was one of our shots that went in, an own goal. So you could say they scored 4 from 7 on target. That's not good enough, is it? I mean, I think I said this yesterday. I'm not sure if I said this or was going to say it and didn't say it. But with Roberts' performances, we've clearly now got a challenger. And there's a competition for that number 1 shirt to play in goal. And has Jensen, has he already lost? Like, he should have responded and stepped up. And then he concedes 5 goals. You know, it's not the first time he's conceded a lot of goals. You know, the Watford game at the start of the season, Bristol City. And you could say, well, you know, it's not his fault. The defending was shit. Well, yeah, but I mean, have you ever been to a game and heard the goalie shouting the fuck at the defenders? Have you heard Jensen do that? No, he's too mild-mannered. The mild-mannered Dane. We'll see about that. Whoa, here we go. Touches the ball. Haven't seen this for a fair old while. We got 3 figures here. 101 touches of the ball for Jake Cooper, 100 touches of Joe Bryan. How'd that work out? Seems the more they touch the ball, the more damage they could do. And then we got Tanganga of 85, Crammer of 81. And then a big drop off to George Saville with 65. This is, again, however much this was our plan, or whether this is Plymouth saying, look, you have the ball when you're in your own area. As soon as you cross the halfway line, we're jumping on you. We're going to nick the ball and we're going to go back at you. So, I mean, this is not how we play. We don't do this stuff. We don't do tippy-tappy. And why would you do tippy-tappy away from home? Or why are you trying to do that? Because they're bottom of the table, you think they're dog shit. Like, you complete lack of respect in that you're going to turn up and you're just going to, we're going to play like Barcelona and we're going to tap it around. And we're going to show off about how, we can play football, even though we're a Millwall Football Club. Man, I don't know. So shots on target. How many did we have? Was it 13 as well? Yeah, spread throughout the whole team basically. Shots on target. Again, 7. So we had as many shots as they did. We had as many shots on target as they did. We scored 1 goal. They scored 4. We scored the other one for them. Man. Man, oh man, oh man. Were we offside? We weren't even offside, were we? We got offside once. For me, is surprised. The only player that's bombing on forward, he's the one who gets offside. Defensively, did we do any defending in that game? 2 tackles, Kramer, Brian, Saville. Interceptions, Tanganga. 3, Joe Bryan 2, Denord 2. Clearances, wow. Jake Huber 10, Tanganga 7, Kramer 4, Joe Bryan 3, Ivanovic with 3. Blocked shots. Well, we did block 2 of their shots. Kundal blocked a shot. And George Saville blocked a shot. Let's have a look at the ratings. So, yeah, look. Femi Aziz 7.33, Joe Bryan 7.03, Mihailo Ivanovic 7.02, and then quite a big drop off to the next best player, number 4. Number 4 in the ratings, 6.38. Kramer 6.32. Man. Yeah. So Billy Mitchell comes on the 72nd minute, plays 15 minutes. Gets a rating of 6.03, and gets a better rating than Luke Kundal, and Casper Denor, and George Saville, and Lucas Jensen. Yikes. Okay. So let's finish up by looking at this. This is from fbref.com. Yeah. 5-1. XG was 2.6 to 0.8. So the XG says that game should have been either 2-1 to Plymouth or 3-1 to Plymouth. It ended up being 5-1. Possession, as we've seen, 35 to 65. Passing accuracy. They had 307 passes. We had 563. Shots on target. 6 of 13 on target for us. 6 of 12 on target for them. Their keeper made 5 of 6 saves. Our keeper made 3 of 6. Like I said, is it time for Roberts to come in? I mean, that's up to Neil. I mean, what do you do now? What does Alex Neil do now? Does he? Because obviously he took the blame on himself for the result. He didn't blame the keeper. Even though there was, he did say there were some silly mistakes, but he mentioned it. Mostly mentioned it was his fault because he wanted them to play football a certain way and pass it around, and they ended up passing it to the Plymouth team to let them score. So that's not good. He didn't really blame anybody. But is he going to change the keeper now? Is he going to do that? Fouls conceded 19 to 10. Corners 2 to 6. Crosses 15 to 19. Touches of the ball 455 to 692. Tackles 24 to 13. Interceptions 7 to 10. Aerials 129 to 28. Clearances 47 to 33. Offside 0-1, goal kicks 8-7, throw-ins 18-41. That's a lot. That is a lot. Is that connected to the strategy of going down the wings to Connolly and Crammer on the touchline? Is that part of it to try and get the throw-ins? We don't have do we really have a long throw specialist? Not really. Long balls 92-86. So if we go down and see shot creating actions, Femi is 34 minutes on the pitch. It tells you there. If you go to Femi Aziz, you got long, gives you his age and minutes on the pitch and all of these things here. And if you go over to this side here, SCA, this one here, shot creating actions, basically the actions by that player that led to a shot. Femi Aziz, 5. Goal creating actions, 2. He was on the pitch for 34 minutes, bruv. 34 minutes. And then you got Joe Bryan, shot creating actions, 4. I'm pretty sure that doesn't include the own goal. So, I mean, yeah. There you go. Passing was way off. You can see here. Passes, attempted, completed percentage. I mean, well off. Cundall's passing is actually pretty good. 22 complete from 24. Denor was 38-42. But were they going backwards? I don't know. We'll find out, I guess. Well, progressive passes that go forward towards the opponent's goal by 10 yards. So Luke Cundall, 3 of them. Denor, 3 of them. Alright. Joe Bryan, 11 of them. Joe Bryan's passing the ball forward. I think he's passing it to Connolly a lot. Generally. And Connolly was dribbling forward with it. Billy Mitchell, 4 of 9, 44.4. Negley, 10 of 21. He was good carrying the ball, I think, dribbling with it, but I mean, in terms of passing the ball, it doesn't seem 47% of his passes were accurate. What are we looking at? Let's just scroll through this and check. So you can see here, like I was saying about how they were being jumped on by the Plymouth midfield. The short passing, the completion percentage is lower than the medium passing. Trying to pass it short and it's getting broken up by the Plymouth team. In terms of, you've got Negley, 60% on his short passing, 71% on his medium passing. And see the long passing, that's going to be like just hit and hope. You hit it forward to someone and you hope they get on the end of it. But comparing the short and the medium, and again Connolly, short passing has less accuracy than medium. Well, what does that mean? Well, short pass is between 5 and 15 yards, and the medium one is between 15 and 30 yards. So I think the medium passes, generally, passing it backwards, or passing it from one wing to the other, when there's, like fullback to fullback, because they're not going to be marked, so there's some space there. Whereas when you're doing short passing, there might be players around that player that you're passing it to, and you hope that they either do, one touch, or they just take a touch and pass it quickly. The drills that they do, I don't know what they officially call it, but I call it piggy in the middle, where you've got a ring of players and there's one in the middle, and they pass it around them as he's running around trying to get off them. That kind of thing. So, again, Femi Aziz, 85.7 on his short passing, 100 on his medium. So they were really, getting into the only one who looks better short than medium. Well, 2 of them. Billy Mitchell, 66.7 to 0 on a medium. That's a very small sample size. Jules Saville 92.3 on his short and 76.9 on his medium. So there you go with that. Yeah, they had Camille Negley doing the corner kicks, 3 of the corner kicks. And he took 2 of the free kicks as well, which was weird. Defensive actions, possession. Here we go. I like showing this one. Carries of the ball. So carries of the ball, total distance carried with the ball, progressive distance, which is distance in yards towards the opponent's goal line. It's alright getting on the ball and running around. If you're not going towards the opponent's goal line, what's the point? What are we even doing here? And you can see here, Femi Aziz, 12 carries for 68 yards, 38 yards towards the opponent's goal line. Yes, please. Kramer, 22 carries, only 88 yards, 53 of that progressive distance. Bangor Williams, 5 carries, 21 yards, 17 forwards. So there you go. This aerials won and lost. Ivanovic won 5, lost 7. Not the best. Negley didn't even have an aerial. And then you've got Bangor Williams lost 1 aerial. Kundal lost 2. Femi Aziz lost 2. Denor was 1-1, lost 2. Billy Mitchell's 1-2, lost 2. So even in the air, we're getting out jumped in the air. Only, obviously, the only ones who basically had winning aerial duels were the 3 defenders, Kramer, Tanganga and Cooper. So there you go. Let's go down the keeper. Shots on target against 7, goals against 5, saves 3. Save percentage 42.9. Post shot XG was 2.9. Completed 4. Launched, so 17 attempts launched, 4 completed. As we've just seen the aerial duels, we lost a lot of them. 21 passes altogether, including short passes, 3 for throws. 52.4% of those passes were long balls, and the average length of the long ball, average length of passes overall was 36.9. Obviously, because, like I said, they weren't really pressing us until we got over the halfway line. So Jensen passing it to, Tanganga or whoever. Yeah, let's go. You can do that. As soon as you cross that halfway line, we're going to jump on you. Goal kicks 7, all 85.7 were launched, 61.9 average length. Crosses of the opponent into the penalty area 11. He did stop 1 of them. That's 9.1% stop rate. Outside of the penalty area, defensive actions 2. How many times he touched the ball outside the penalty area? Sweeper keeper stuff. Average distance from the goal line 19.5 yards. Again, they weren't pressing us that high. Here's a list of all the shots. And as you can see, not looking too good. Not looking too good at all. Obviously, the own goal isn't there because that wasn't a shot. It was an accident. Like that time I shit my pants. Just an accident. Don't tell anyone. XG was 0.79. Post shot XG 0.92. What's the penalty? A penalty's at 0.8. A lot of people saying Roberts would have saved that. I think this was a harder shot. I think the one that leads, the guy tried to place it in the corner. This one was smashed into the corner. Ivanovic, 0.05 to 0.11 with his head 13 yards out. That was saved. And then they had a shot blocked, a shot off target. And then Negley 35 yards out. That was saved. Tipped over the bar, that one. Tanganga, he had one blocked. Casper Denor off target. 28 yards of his right foot. And then they had a header saved, so Jensen made a save. And then they had off target from 21 yards to 23 yards. And then second half they come out straight away, 48 minutes, blocked from 26 yards. And then left foot from 15 yards, goal. That was the one that Cooper overrun the man, and then when he turned back, the guy was free to shoot. And then the next one, 0.28 to 0.25. And then we've got 4 Millwall shots in a row. Because like I said, by this time, that's after 56 minutes, they're 4-0 up. We start making subs, they start making subs. And we've got Crammer saved from 14 yards out. Femi's is blocked. That's from a free kick. Connolly saved. That was very powder puffed, that one. That was 0.02. Femi's is off target. Joe Bryan goal, 0.36 to 0.97. Goal, 8 yards out with left foot. Very well taken. Ivanovic saved. Left foot volley. Halaj saved. Katic saved. And then the follow-up went in from 2 yards out. Again, you can't put your hand on the ball and then moan when he kicks it. That's not how it works. You need to get possession of the ball. And then at the end, off target from them, and then the last 3 in the injury time, blocked. So, oh man, there it goes. But what can you say? What can you say? And on that note, thank you for watching, and goodbye.